What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be replacing my Haltech can gauge mount. It's a 52 millimeter mount, but the one that I have in there right now doesn't have any tabs on it, and there's really not a good way to mount it. So I got another one that has tabs on it. It looks a lot better because the old one I have held on by tape and it looks absolutely horrible. And that's one of the last things I need to do in the interior of my R32 GTR. So I'm going to show you guys what the old one looks like, and I'm going to show you guys what the new one looks like, and we'll get that installed in this video. Without further ado, let's get into it. So here is what the new can gauge mount looks like. Like I said, it's a 52 millimeter mount. There's some little spots on it that came from the factory. I tried cleaning it up. It didn't clean up very well, but from a distance, you can't see it. But other than that, it looks really good. It's 3D printed. It's got the tabs on it. So I'm going to go ahead, get this one installed. It should look a lot better in there than the current one that's in there. So this is the way I have the Haltech can gauge mount in there right now. I hate the way that the tape is on there. It looks horrible. So I'm glad I have the new mount with me here. And I'm going to show you guys why this mount really has nowhere on the car for it to mount to. And I'm going to show you guys here in a second. All right, so I just took off all the tape. And if you look on the back side, there's no tabs. There's really nothing. This isn't anything to mount here. And the way you have this in there is this is the way it goes. It should just sit, that should be the way it is. But they want you to glue it to these. It says you need to glue it or RTV it to these little tabs that are on the sides here. This back one's it's a lot farther back than it appears, but they want you to glue it here, and I tried it, and there's really no contact surface there, so it just falls right out. It's horrible. So I'm gonna get this piece of crap out and get this new one in. Here are the two mounts that are side by side. If you look and see, this is really loose the way this sits in there, so I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get it mounted. With the actual can gauge, there was like a little mount that came with it, but I ended up actually throwing it away because I didn't need it. Because the old one, when you put it in here, it actually stayed in there. Like, I don't have this pressed in all the way, but it would actually stay there, and it wasn't loose, so I didn't think I needed it, but I shouldn't have thrown that away. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put some black electrical tape around the outside and get it a little bit bigger so that it'll be able to just sit there. So we got the Haltech can gauge mounted back in the dash. Everything looks really good. I love the way it turned out. It blends in super well with the OEM look that I'm kind of going for. I also want to get the IC7 dash eventually from Haltech, but I'm also going to get Apple CarPlay and get rid of the 3-gauge pod and then get rid of this radio that I have here. And I want to do that just because I want to modernize it a little bit, get the Apple CarPlay in. And I have little tweeter Kenwood speakers too. Want to upgrade those at some point. The tweeters are okay, but the bottom speakers are OEM, and I kind of want to get those updated as well. But I'm going to go ahead and flip the key on and show you guys what the can gauge looks like. There we go. Just flip the ignition on. Gauge Art is the app that you use for doing the programming for the gauge. And right as you can see right away, so this is my coolant temperature. The current is 56 degrees. I have a limit set at 100 degrees. So since it's under 100 degrees right now, I have a red light, this indicator light here at the bottom that is red. I basically have that so if, when I start the car, I can kind of just watch it, make sure we're good. And then once I hit 100 degrees, that light will come off. The thermostat opens at like 155 to 160 degrees, but I like to get it warmed up a little bit before I drive it. But other than that, I have some different stuff in here. I have my AFR. It's going to be out of range because I don't have the car running right now. I have my battery voltage, my gear that I'm in. I have my injector duty cycle, and I have my throttle position. So pretty cool. I have RPM, I have my boost pressure, and then this is where I have my coolant and my air temperature, and that's the way I have it set up. And you can go on your app and change a bunch of different things in programmer mode, and it makes it look really cool. This is the way I just had it set up with different things that I wanted to see on the can gauge. Thank you guys for watching the video. That's going to wrap it up. Pretty easy install, nothing too crazy, just doing that Haltech can gauge mount. that mount will work for any 52 millimeter gauge, but the Haltech can gauge, I run a Haltech ECU, and that can gauge is perfect for that application. So, and it's a great spot to have it. I didn't really want it on like the dash of like where the clusters are. I kind of wanted it down, and perfectly enough, the ashtray goes there, and I don't use that, so it was a perfect spot for it. So I'm glad I was able to get that figured out. But yeah, thank you guys for watching the video. Please like it, subscribe, and comment down below if you guys have any other ideas you want me to do in the future. See you guys later.